So in the previous session, we were looking at some of the ways by which data is surrounding us. We are immersed in lot of information. But now what we have to do, we have to make sense out of that information. We know Windows there. Then another thing is there are a lot of other things that go with it. For example, let's take the case of a door. If you take a door, what is the information that you have about the door? Dimension, length, breadth. Okay. Huh? Yes, type of hinge, parliamentary hinge, that is double, both sides you can open or close. Yes, then material of the door. Yeah, the locking system, latching or securing systems. This means data has some things which are common. Each data is related to the other. For example, the bench is inside the room, right? So all of these kind of things is something which I want you to think about. Okay. Now, everywhere, whatever work you do, it has all these properties put in. And we also talked about the danger of taking too much of data. You take too much of data, you will not be able to work with it. Like the screws, every screw fits there, model is data rich. You can take a lot of interpretation, but will you be able to work with it? That is the question which you ask. So ISO 19650 is the standard for managing information over the life cycle of the asset which you are constructing. Now, the problem here is when you use the word building information modeling, many of the other disciplines don't like it. So, we are trying to use some other terms also, digital twin. So, you will probably be able to see, you will be noticing that there's going to be a change in the nomenclature. Same thing, same work you are doing, but we're going to give a different name. Now, this framework enables collaboration. Like we were discussing tap, faucet, uh, uh, whatever else you want to call it, it's all have meaning the same thing. So the problem was we were not using a same nomenclature. So there is another dictionary which we'll be talking about, BSDD, but let's come to that a little later. But the point remains that this use of different terms is going to cause a problem in the collaboration. A person from another part of the country, our country, refer different parts with different names. So under this kind of a circumstance, how easy or how difficult is it for collaboration? So this is the main thing. And Great Britain was the first to bring out a standard. It was called PAS 7, Publicly Available Standard 7. Free of cost, freely available, everybody had access to it. So maybe, and also there was a mandate that the people stored the information in that particular manner. Do we have any digital mandate in India? Quite frankly, if you are going to go for approval in Tamil Nadu, you have to prepare the AutoCAD file, upload it to the portal. There are a lot of rules, which line thickness, what line type you have to use, and all those things to refer to different parts of the building. This AutoCAD file gets read by the software automatically, and you will be able to get approval almost instantly. You approve, you upload, pay the money, the system will tell, okay, approved, not approved. So we do have some digital things, but we don't have the digital mandate yet. We don't have a digital mandate like what PA 7, publicly available standard 7, brought out. Then ISO 19650 took over the BS 1192, and BS 1192 was now renamed as ISO 19650, and this was made like a global standard. We have country specific additions. So for example, Singapore will say, okay, I want some modification to this standard to make it more applicable to my country. So you are allowed to add some national annexures to this code. So together, the people in that country are still able to work with the global community at large. So there are two phases. We have the delivery phase. This is the place where most of us will be working. We will be working in the construction and delivery of an asset. So I'm using the word asset specifically because it is not a building alone that you are doing. It can be a bridge, it can be a metro station, it can be a bus stand. Can be so many other things, a dock, harbor, anything. All of this are assets. And that's why we are very specific in using the word asset. So you will be in the design and construction phase, or you'll be in the maintenance side. See, we have a very big estate office. What do these people do? Maintain lights, fans, bulbs, everything. Anything goes wrong, they take care of it. Okay, so this is one of the big things which we work, and this is a very important thing which I would like you to make a note of. This is the flow of information. This is the flow of information. The organization has a need. Organization has a need. They will tell, for this project, this is the information I need, so that it will amalgamate with the rest of the information which I have. Then you go for the specific assets we are building. And the last thing is the exchange information requirement. So for example, I don't know how many of you, wait, you all joined, how many of you used Word before 2007? Before 2007, we had only the doc format. Okay, so I know it's almost like prehistory, right? Which class were you in 2007? 5 years old, right? Yeah. So what is MS Word is a very big question. So when we were working in those days, if you have a doc file, you can't open it in any other software reliably as much as in Microsoft Word. So at the time we had this competition, Open Office and other things, but that was not opening the file reliably. So if you put bold in one place, it will not be bold here also. Okay, so on and so forth. Even now, this is a problem with many of the software. Okay, you open with the one format like ODT in Microsoft Word, it may not reliably render. So finally, what happened? We preferred to use intermediate format PDF. So if you have a drawing, if you have a Excel sheet, if you are having some other unique format, like maybe you are taking a report from SAP, all of these things could be put in a common data format, PDF. So what happened, irrespective of what you did, where could you open it? You could open it reliably on a PDF reader. Do PDF change much when you're doing the read-only mode? If you put in editor mode, that's different story. But in the read-only mode, irrespective of the device or irrespective of the platform like Linux, Mac, or this one, you still are able to do it. Okay. So what is it that people want? They want to be able to view the data reliably. So this exchange information requirement comes into picture here. Okay, we want data to be proper. So we have two parts. We are having the delivery phase where we do the design and construction, and we are going to go for the operation phase. If your owner is having the foresight, they will make your project information model into the asset information model. They will not repeatedly collect data. When you are looking at work, that's why you are having task teams. Okay. Then you have another term coming up, appointed party. Appointing party and appointed party. So what is the difference? If you are looking at your contracts, you would be talking about first party, second party, third party, right? Have you come across those terms in your contracts class? So you enter into contract between first party and second party. So till now we used to have contractor and owner. We are now changing the term to the appointing party and the appointed party. So earlier you used to have subcontractors, contractor, subcontractor. So here what we do, we use the term appointing party, owner, lead appointed party, okay, as the main contractor, and then you have the subcontractor, whom we call as the appointed party. Okay, so when you are looking at this is a slight difference in the terminology, which is also good, because subsequently the appointed party could become a lead appointed party and again give sub tenders. They could again give sub tenders. So this becomes a very huge tree, and we are removing that differentiation that you are the contractor, you are the subcontractor. Subcontractor doesn't come now. An appointing party, lead appointed party, and appointing party. Okay. And in the operation phase, you need to know about the asset. We are going to have a few terms. You have a master info delivery plan. So this is the sum of all the task info delivery plans which you have. Okay, almost like saying your L0, L1, L2, L3 schedule, literally something like that which you are looking at. So what is the delivery we are doing, how we are going to do it. Okay, any questions at this point, please? Appointed party, appointing party. Yeah, earlier we used to call contractor subcontractor. Now we are changing the terminology. That's all. The terminology is appointing party instead of contractor. Then, I'm sorry, the owner. Then you have the contractor whom you call as the lead appointed party. So they will do the work of the contract. So they can have other people whom we are again calling as appointed party. Able to get it? Right. So WIP stands for work in progress. See, all the abbreviations might not be there on the slide. I realize. For example, CDE I put here, but WIP work in progress. And so you let's look at the workflow logic. What is this workflow logic? So you are going to create a document. Somebody is the creator of the document. Somebody goes through the document and then they approve it and or they check it. Somebody else looks at the overall way this document fits into the scheme of things of the entire project and then they approve it. So this is the first step. For example, if you are going to look at a project, uh, if you are going to look at the power plant, for example, where I worked a lot, the most important part is the boiler, because the height of the boiler or the height at which you are going to suspend the boiler determines the rest of the flow. I have to take coal right up to that. So I have a fixed slope. I got a fixed belt speed. So I have to decide how wide I have to keep the belt so that I can take more material at a slower speed, or whether I can speed up the belt because I have sufficient slope. So a lot of things come from that one information. So I need to know the height at which the boiler is there. So now once you know this, there will be a team doing the work of boilers. Only they'll do all the work related to boiler. So we are the material handling team. So we'll do just before till a particular point. This is the battery limit. So I need to know what is the requirement of the other person so that my delivery is at the right place, right? So we need to establish some kind of common protocol as to what are the standards we are going to adhere to. So this is what I mean by saying somebody has to coordinate between these two, or somebody has to give approval. Yes, your work matches my requirement. So once you know the task flow, you can then start to understand how you are going to create a CDE, or the common data environment. What are the folders you'll have? What are the file formats you'll use to share? That is the EI exchange information requirement, EIR. So you'll put all of those protocols in place, because piping contractor may not be able to use Revit or some tool like some other tool. They'll have to use their own tools. So we need to make sure that both these things are able to talk with each other. Okay. So then what happens is, when you are doing the design, it is work in progress. What is the status? Work in progress. After you finish, you go for interface check, whether they are going to be at the right levels, whether it will interfere with something else, stuff like that you do. And then what happens? The next one is, it goes for approvals. It goes for approvals. Okay. So I will stop at this point. We will continue about the ISO 19650 information requirements in the next class.